Ugh, oh my god. How did I spend $400 on takeout this month? What's up YouTube? My name's Anna and this is Anna Does Money, a channel where I talk about money making and money saving strategies as well as my personal debt recovery journey. It has been over 2 months since I've embarked on this debt recovery journey, trying to pay off over $27,000 in credit card debt. I'm going to continue doing these monthly updates where I'm sharing how much I'm spending, how much I'm earning, and how much my debt has been paid off each month. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Otherwise, let's jump in to April. In the month of April, I pretty much only had income from my 9-to-5 job, which amounted to $4,377 after taxes. I did make a small amount of extra income. $678 of that $64 came from some old Medium articles that I wrote, which is like a writing platform. I made about $10 from an item that I sold on Poshmark. I really haven't been that active. I haven't really listed anything new. And I also got about a $40 return for something that the city of Toronto owed me, if you want to count that as income. To be honest, this was a really tough month for me in terms of spending. When I calculated all these numbers, I was surprised at how much I actually spent at the end of this month. I did have a lot of bigger expenses that I don't usually have. The main contributor being that I moved into a new house. So I had to pay first and last month's rent, as well as moving expenses like renting the truck and all of that. Based on the 50-30-20 rule that I explained in another video, I'll link it here, wherever it is. My ideal spending based on that income of $4,377 should look something like this. I should be spending a maximum of $2,188 on my needs, which includes rent, insurance, groceries, utilities, transportation, etc. A maximum of $1,313 on my wants, so any subscriptions and dining out, things like that. And then a minimum of 20%, which is $875 on debt repayment or saving. In my case, it's all going towards debt repayment. Now, I've already warned you, I didn't meet this. I far exceeded this spending amount, but I'll tell you how it all worked out in the end in a minute. So don't panic when you see these numbers. I didn't get myself into more debt this month. So my actual spending was just over $8,000. My rent is cheaper than it was last month since I moved into a new house. It dropped from $1,600 to $1,200. And the rest of my needs are pretty similar to last month. For me, to be honest, it's gonna be near impossible to reach that $2,188 goal on my needs that represents 50% of my income, because my minimum payments on my credit cards as well as my loan payments are about $1,500 a month, which would only leave me about $700 a month for everything else. And I can't get rent cheaper than what I have right now. But I should be able to make up for that by lowering the amount I'm spending for my wants. I don't think I need anywhere near that $1,300 a month. And a typical month for me, I spend maybe only a couple $100s a month on my wants. Obviously, that was not the case this month. I spent far above that. The largest contributor to that wants expense was the moving expenses, which when I put everything together was about $2,000. Ouch. The cost of my subscriptions is a lot higher than I would like it to be, but I don't think I'm gonna decrease that very much because all of those are business related expenses. I don't have any entertainment type things like Netflix or Prime or anything like that. That's all been removed. You would think, okay, maybe business expenses should go into your needs, but I don't have to be trying to set up those other businesses and generate extra income. I'm hoping those will be an investment in my future, but I'm still gonna keep it in my wants section since it's not absolutely necessary. The biggest thing I'm really mad about is this dining out thing. My monthly budget for food is $200, and usually I have no trouble meeting that in combination of groceries and maybe like eating out once. But this month I splurged so hard. I only paid $76 for groceries, but I paid $377 for dining out. I think a lot of that spending was related to the moving expenses because I was so busy with packing and unpacking, and you don't have your kitchen stuff, that I ended up eating out a lot. It was also my 30th birthday, so I bought myself a really nice bottle of wine, ordered some takeout. So that definitely added to the amount that I spent this month. Still, it really hurts me knowing that I could have put an extra $400 towards debt repayment. Speaking of the debt repayment, you might be surprised that I actually did put a decent amount towards debt repayment this month, about $2.5 grand. So I'll tell you how I managed to do this. I had money in an emergency fund in case I lost my job or anything like that, and I ended up cashing some of that out. Now, I still have $5,000 left over, but I figure that's enough to last me for maybe a month or two if I lose my job, which is not ideal. You should aim for 3 to 6 months, but I needed to cover some of these expenses, and I wanted to really make a dent in that debt. So yeah, that's a big risk. I decided to only keep that $5,000 in my emergency fund and put about $4,000 to cover some of the moving expenses, as well as put money towards that debt repayment. So how much debt did I pay off? Well, like I said, I obviously kind of cheated this month and used the emergency fund, but I figured I would still give you a debt update so that way next month, if you're like, oh my God, how did you go down so quickly that month? And you'll understand what actually happened. So my credit card debt is now down to just under $20,000 from $27,500 back in March. And my total debt is down from just under $100K to just over $90K. To be honest, I didn't achieve any of my side hustle goals. I guess the one goal I did achieve is I did lower my living expenses by moving into a cheaper apartment. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it here. But basically, I should be saving a few $100s a month, which will help with the debt repayment. But I didn't make really any extra income. Between moving and my birthday, I know I keep saying that, the month really just flew by. But I still wanted to make this video and show the reality of the situation, that not all months are going to be great, and you're going to have goals, and sometimes you won't meet those goals. But I think it's important to share the good months as well as the bad months with you, because I don't want to show that I'm perfect all the time. I'm not perfect, far from it, because otherwise I wouldn't be in this problem in the first place. I'm definitely really grateful that I had that savings that could be used to pay for this month's expenses. I know a lot of people don't have that luxury. I think the next few months will be a much truer representation of how much I'm spending each month, and hopefully I'll finally be able to be in that desired spending range and not be overspending. I also really want to push for some extra income these months. I know I've kind of been lacking on that a bit, but I really want to keep making progress on this. If you want to keep watching that progress, no matter how small or big it might be, please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. If you have a story you want to share with me, or if you want to just give me some helpful advice, please do also leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week on Anna Does Money. Peace out, dudes.